Welcome to the Akuno podcast today, everybody. I'm here with Dave Williams, a life and business coach. How are you doing, Dave?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. And how are you, more importantly?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. I've got some sunshine, so I'm all good.
Excellent. Well, doesn't it make people smile, hey?
I know, and that's something that we need more of.
Most definitely, yes. Because let's face it, life is a joy if we actually view it that way.
And that leads me on to asking, how did you get where you are and what was your journey there?
Well, in view of our conversation a bit earlier on, how long have you got, really? Well, things have actually changed for myself in as much as for many years I was actually in senior management, ran my own businesses, all sorts of different things there. But throughout all of that time, ever since I was a youngster, really, people used to come up to myself and my other half when they had issues to get handled. And whether it just be just a general chat and just to talk things over or whatever. But we didn't think too much about it, either of us. And then on the 10th of December in 2015, life sort of, well, there's no sort of about it. It actually turned totally upside down. Because if you'd have been with me on that particular day, you'd have been entering a squarish, white, clean smelling room with a blue shower type curtain covering about a third of the room. So as I pulled back the curtain, there she is. There's Helen, my other half, or Hel as I call her. Now, Hel's about 5'10" with shortish brown hair. And one of those greying streaks that run from the front to the back that she absolutely despises. Now, Hel's my rock, my world, the love of my life, the yin to my yang. But we were at the Royal Derby Hospital, and Hel wasn't being prepared for an operation. She was being prepared for the morgue.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah, so the reality was it took me some time to actually get my head around that particular situation, because she just passed suddenly with a massive heart attack.
Oh.
So if you'd have actually been with me in this February evening, you'd been sat in my lounge on my corner black leather upholstery with white walls either side and a red feature wall in front of you. I know the TV's in that corner, and I know that the bookcase is in that corner. But this particular evening, I couldn't see them because the darkness that I was feeling inside was matching the darkness of this non-lit room. See, the reality was I was depressed. I was wondering the point of life, and if there was any point to it in reality. But I knew that I had a decision to make. I could either stay here feeling negative and sorry for myself, or I could move forward. So I took the decision to move forward, and I went searching for solutions, but I didn't find any that suited me. So I started putting some strategies in place, and I found that little by little, I was actually getting better and better and more like my old self again. And then as time progressed and I started to get myself back on track, feeling more confident, feeling that life was a joy and feeling that I had a future, that's when I took things to the next level. And I had the realization that all these things that had been happening over the years, where people coming to us for guidance and advice, that was going to be what I wanted to do moving forward. So I then became an accredited master coach. I then won an award with the Find Your Why Foundation. And now you find me as a life and business coach. So, because I'm a firm believer that everyone has a gift in life. It's very difficult to actually share that gift with ourselves, first of all, but also with others, which we're designed to do when we're actually feeling negative. So the strategies that I put together, I started helping people on a one-to-one basis. And I was finding that people were actually getting all sorts of terrific results. And now it's a case of, I've had the realization again, the fact that, look, I haven't got enough time to actually help everybody. So I'm putting it all together, and I'm actually producing this course that will actually be out a bit later this year.
And what's the name of this course?
It's the Win to Live Roadmap, because what I've actually found that with every particular element to it, that the reality is most people are here. They're in a negative state. And what we need to do is actually move from that negative state. And there's only 3 stages to this Win to Live roadmap. And it's a bit like traffic lights. So we're in the red zone, and then we're transitioning. So we go into the yellow, and then we actually put foot to the floor. We're on full throttle. We're in the green. And that's when we're living life to the full. And that's how I can actually impact more people and actually help them get their lives back on track. So going back to the question, I hope that answered your question, Marie.
I'm honestly really sorry to hear about how this journey happened, but I think that you have really hit the nail on the head as well with the way that you kind of came out of it and into a successful life, because it's very easy for us to be sat in a negative mindset and being overworked and not knowing how to be happy and not feeling happy and not knowing how to get out of that and actually be happy. So, what kind of advice and tips do you have for people in that situation?
Well, first of all, identify where you are in life. See, one of the biggest things to say, is it all right to use the board?
Go for it, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully my spelling isn't going to be that bad. Okay. See, I'm a firm believer that what we do, we tend to crucify ourselves. Okay, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. See, we need to be our best friend. And in reality, it's an old term that we use for friend in the UK, which is chum. Yeah, okay. Because the first one is how we communicate with ourselves.
Yeah.
See, we tend to communicate to ourselves in such a negative way. But when we're actually doing that, and when we've identified where we don't want to be, we also need to be honest with ourselves. And that's crucial. See, I've had many ups and downs over the years. As you can tell, I'm not 21. Okay, so I've had loads of life experiences. But when I look back, an awful lot of the time, I wasn't honest with myself. So because I wasn't honest with myself, I found it such a challenge to move forward. And then the next one, this is something I've done an awful lot of times. Okay, I hasten to add. I've taken guidance from unqualified people. That we're all exposed to people that have opinions. But the thing is, most people's opinions are not based on anything apart from tittle tattle. It's if you go back in the UK anyway, the classic Les Dawson comedy sketch where he's actually talking over a garden fence with the neighbor. That's all about opinions. And so many people have actually got them, understandably so. But we need to actually get the information that we need from qualified people, not unqualified people. And there's a second part to this, and that's don't focus on unimportant stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna share a secret with you. Netflix is not important. Okay, if you want to get from here to here, Netflix is not going to do it for you. You've got to do it yourself. And then it comes to the last one, the M. What's your mission? And in as much as you make sure I don't drop the pen or write all over me. If you're here and you want to get there, what do you want to do? Because clarity is key for everything that we do in life. And unless we're clear on which road we want to take, then, hey, whichever road is going to get you there, it's just going to take you a bit longer. Now, I must admit, I am more experienced in life than an awful lot of you, no doubt. And if you're there and you want to get there, okay, you can do it that way. There's no problem with that. However, I prefer saving time and doing it a more direct route.
So on your graph there, my teacher said to me, you're going to get there, but you're going to go every which way other than there until you get there. And the direct route it just was not there for me. I'm not sure why. I've done just about everything else. So that's a really interesting graph that you've got.
Look, don't get me wrong. An awful lot of my journey to get here has been like that. And it's been peaks and troughs all the time, but isn't that how we learn?
Yeah.
And it's when you go back to school, it's one of the things that always, I will say, makes me giggle in many ways. Maybe you can remember when you were back at school, and maybe you're similar to myself, you know, when you're in the sort of 4th or 5th year, and I know the terminologies have changed now as to year 8, 9, and I always get them mixed up. But you get a career advisor come in. Yeah, what do you want to do then? Well, what experience of life have I got? I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, because the reality is, yeah, I was 51 when I realized this was what I wanted to do. I tried several things prior to, and I got some enjoyment out of it, but I'd not got the big fulfillment. And I'm just trying to get this back so I get to the right page. So again, I have been on that journey, but now I know specifically what I want. Now it's a case of that's why I'm on the green line. But for many people, it's a big challenge to move away from here.
It's a huge challenge to do any of those things that you've just mentioned, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. And look, yeah, when I've actually been on my peaks and troughs, I've actually tried certain things, and I've done like most people. Yeah? Comfort zone. I want to get over there. Oh, it's scary over here, so I'll move back. Yeah, look, I freely admit it. Yeah, okay. Because I'm also a firm believer, although it's, you know, our natural state when we actually focus on the cautious or the negative side, but we're also being programmed to focus that way as well. Bear with me, in as much as I firmly believe this, that when we're born, we're actually born with 2 fears, and that's the fear of falling over and the fear of loud noises. And there has been studies done in this. And so, look, if you've got a baby, then don't go and do a really loud noise behind them and make them cry. That's cruel. Okay, so don't do that. Yeah, you can go on YouTube and see people that have done it. But when we're growing up, when you think about it, what do we need to do for love? Not a lot. Because when you think about it, we're that big, what we do is sort of eat, cry, and poop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? But no matter what we do, we still get loads of love, don't we? Or the vast majority of people do anyway. So we grow up with that. And then as we're getting a bit older, we start crawling and walking and all of these different things. But throughout all of that time, we've actually had the love, hugs, cuddles, stories read to us, etc. And then what happens? We start getting into things that we shouldn't really get into. Yeah, I remember one story I heard that my mum found me climbing on top of the cooker. I don't know. Yeah, I was there, but I still don't know too much about it. You know, I can't remember. But the thing is, when that happens, the parent, significant other change from that loving person to they need to attract your attention immediately. So what do? They normally get an awful lot louder, don't they? Mm-hmm. And they do it an awful lot more assertive. But that resonates with one of our basic human fears. So it resonates as a negative. And then we go to school. How many times did the teacher come into your class and say, hey, well done, guys, great week this week? I guess by the smile, not often. So you're not as angelic as you're looking then, obviously.
No, we didn't have that so much. We only got told off when we were bad.
And that's just it. Yeah, the teacher normally comes in and gives the class a rollicking. And normally, again, it's an awful lot louder and a lot more assertive. And then we go to work. Have you ever been in a situation, you've been called to the boss's office, you don't know what the situation is, the reasons why, and automatically you start thinking, what have I done wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the pattern's already running. We're focusing on the negative. And then, you know, maybe you actually read, watch, or listen to the news. How many happy stories do we get?
Very few.
Yeah. And that's just it. So that's why I feel that we're actually programmed to focus on the negative anyway. And because of that, because that's our general focus, that's why we're here, because it's more comfortable in as much as it's our usual state, because that's the way we're being fed the information the vast majority of the time. So yes, I quite agree with you, Marie. Although people are here and not happy, it can be a big challenge to then make the decision and take action to move forward. Because most people actually focus on the most negative letter in the alphabet. And do you know what it is?
Could it be T?
For everyone listening or watching here, yeah, it's a case of, yes, we did discuss that beforehand.
I'm a plant, I admit it.
It's T, and when I was in my depths, if you will, when I was dealing with my demons, then I was talking to myself all of the time. But what I didn't realize at the time, it was negative talk. So for those on audio, we've got N and T on the board at the moment. So it was always negative talk, the way that I was talking to myself. But like I said, at the time, because I was in such a poor situation for me, I didn't realize that. And then I compounded it even more. So I added a T to that. So we've now got C and T, and it was continuous negative talk. Now I'm really going to make really good decisions when I'm actually in that much negativity, aren't I? And then the icing on the cake, if you will, was what I didn't realize and now added to an end. So we've now got cons on the board. It was continuous affirming negative talk. So the reality was I was in the negative. I was feeling low. I was feeling depressed, anxious, worrying about everything. But I was talking to myself to keep me there. Because I did used to put the TV on. I did used to watch things like the news, because apart from anything else, oh, it'll take my focus onto something else. Hey, other people in the world are actually having it worse than me. But it's still keeping me in that negative state. See, the thing is, with the most negative letter in the alphabet, it's good for two things, okay? First of all, hitting a golf ball off. And if you've just seen my swing, you now know why I don't play golf. And the other thing is for drinking. See, because what I realized when I made the decision to move, I changed it. And I started with the C. So it's continuous. Previously it was constant, now it's continuous. And then we add an A. So it's continuous action. See, you're not going to get anywhere where we want to get to if we just dip our toe in the water. And then it's the N. Nails it. See, for us to change, if we're in a negative and we want to move into a positive place or make our lives better, whether that's financially, whether it's relationships, whether it's work, professionally, whatever, we've got to make the decision to actually, that we want to change, work out the plan to actually get there and continuously work at it. Because if we think about it, if anyone's got a really good hobby that they thoroughly enjoy, they're not just going to do it for 5 minutes and then stop, are they? Yeah. Anyone learning to play the guitar, for argument's sake, you don't strum it twice and then put it down. Babies, when they're learning to walk, they start with a couple of steps and fall over, don't they? You're not going to turn around if you're a parent and say, hey, you dumb thing, you're never going to walk. We carry on doing it, don't we? And that's the thing. So we remove the T and then we go with continuous action, and that's going to get you where you want to get to. Okay. And the big thing as well is, if we are in the red, if we are in the negative, we need to change our focus. Because when we're in the negative state, we tend to focus on the things that are negative. So like, as I say about the news, the negative stories, oh, isn't the world horrendous? Well, no, the world is a fantastic place. Sure, there are some awful things that are going on, but there are some amazing things that are going on as well. But the news doesn't report that. You know, we've been in lockdown virtually throughout the world, as far as I'm aware, definitely here in the UK. And you know, it's tragic the people that have actually lost individuals, and my heart goes out to you, it really does. But through all of that as well, there have been some phenomenal stories that have actually come out of it. Communities have got together again. And it may well be for the first time that we've actually found out who our neighbours are. And people that we've never seen before, never possibly met before, have been doing good deeds for other people. So there's a solution to everything. It's what we focus on. And like I say, when we're in the negative, we tend to focus on the negative things. And you know, the likes of the can't. Because again, when you think about it, you know, we're so mad at pressing the self-destruct button, really, when you think about it. Yeah. You know, if someone tries to give you a compliment, maybe you're like myself. Yeah, you just brush it off. Oh no, I normally do that. Don't worry about it. You know, yeah, great. But it's meant sincerely most of the time. But when we actually try and convince ourselves when we're in a negative place, yeah, have you noticed this? When you know, if you think about some of your actions over the years, yeah, all of a sudden we get definite about when we can't do something, don't we? I can't do that. I can't dance. I can't cook. We're telling ourselves we can't. But we're never going to get really good at anything unless we give it a go. And it's focusing on what we want and not what we don't want. But it's so easy to change our focus. See, if don't do what I'm just about to ask you to do. All right? Okay, that sounds a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Yeah, but don't do what I'm about to ask you to do. Yeah, and that's don't focus on Donald Trump. Now, obviously, Marie, by the giggle, you focused on Donald Trump, didn't you? Yeah, because we're always open to suggestion. So we've just got to be careful on what we do focus on. And look, when we're actually heading to make life better, whether, like I say, it's business, relationship, whatever it is, we're still going to get knocked off track. But the thing is, and the really successful people in life, if you take the likes of Richard Branson, whether you love him or hate him, you know, you can't take away the fact that the guy is mega successful. You know, Virgin Atlantic trains and all of those things. But when was the last time you had a Virgin Cola?
Oh, don't know.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah. When was the last time you got Virgin Flowers?
Does that exist?
It used to. Same with the cola. See, these are things that they launched, but they weren't successful.
Oh.
But what happened, okay, yeah, it may well have been my era with those, yeah, okay, so, yeah, Google it. But, you know, someone that is so successful, look, they've tried other things, but they haven't worked. But it didn't stop them. And that's the thing. So when you're heading towards where you want to get to, you will get curveballs that come along and hit you. Look, there are so many people that have actually thrived during this time. So it doesn't matter what situation we're in, we can always come out of it stronger. And that's the beauty. And the thing is, you know, it's identifying the thing that's holding you back. Now, there's so much said about confidence, and that's something I work with an awful lot with people about. But the reality is, people that are confident still have fears. And that's why the people that are here normally stay here, because of the fears. Just because you're confident doesn't mean to say that you're not going to have fears. It just means that you're actually going to do whatever you can to get through that despite the fears. And that's such a key thing, because we can get held back by our fears or some things that have actually happened in our past. And it's very much a bit like business, really, in many ways. So if you imagine that, I'm sure you've actually been in business situations where that's the normal business route, if you will. And then something comes up, you know, a bit of an issue or whatever, and you deal with that. And then something else crops up that's similar but different. So you get that dealt with as well. And then something else here, and you get that, but isn't it time consuming?
Yeah.
Okay, massively. Look, I've been there, yeah. See, the thing is, when you're actually doing proper coaching as well, get to the core of the issue. Because once you get to the core of the issue, then virtually every time these things disappear anyway. Because what you've actually done, when you've done that, you've actually got these handled before they even start.
So you've gone to the heart of the problem, and in that you've taken away the symptoms of the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you very much for simplifying it for me. Yeah.
Just for the audio listeners, just in case they didn't get this
Yes,
graph.
of course. Yes. And people on audio, aren't they lucky because they don't see my drawings? Yeah, Picasso, I am not.
You've not seen my drawing yet. It's appalling. Can't even draw a stick man.
I'm sure they're terrific. Yeah, but like I say, you've witnessed mine, so and they don't get much better than that.
Well, Dave, we're coming to the end of the interview. Have you got any final thoughts for our listeners? Obviously, we
No.
could go on forever about this topic because there's so much to it.
I could. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully it's come over that I've got a passion, because I don't like seeing people that have got so much potential, but it's like they're trying to get through life wearing concrete slippers. Because like I said at the beginning, I feel that we all have a gift, but to share with others and make everyone's life better. Because once everyone's life is better, the world's going to be a better place anyway. Because we were talking a bit earlier on about sunshine, where you are, and doesn't it make people smile an awful lot more?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But isn't it such a shame that people aren't smiling more anyway?
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit difficult when it's raining and miserable, but...
Liquid sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, we need the sunshine, but we need the rain as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to have one without the other. And it's the same with so many things of what we're actually dealing with. In as much as it's just like a coin, it's got two sides. And it's just about which side of the coin that we focus on. You heard my story. And the reality was, for a while, I was focusing on the wrong side of the coin. And then I flipped it. And things actually changed. But I could quite easily have just stayed focusing on the wrong side of the coin. And the reality was I probably wouldn't be in there.
That's very true. It's very easy to focus on the wrong side of the coin. It's almost comfortable and attractive to do that. And then it seems very difficult to focus on the positive side, which I imagine this is what you cover in your courses, because I think that's the biggest mind shift that we can actually have to be able to do that.
Most definitely, because it reminds me of a quote. It's normally affiliated with Adolf Hitler. Okay, don't get me wrong. Of all the people to take a quote from, but the reality is, what is it? Repeat a lie often enough, and it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't Hitler. It was actually Joseph Goebbels that came out with it. That was the propaganda chief as far as the Nazis and that were concerned. But even then, forget the personalities. The statement itself is so true. And what we tend to do is actually believe so many other people's opinions that are unqualified because they don't know about our histories. And we stack things the wrong way that keep us in the negative state. In as much as I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm no good at this, blah, blah, blah. How about we take the shift and we move over here and I can do this, I'm bloody good at this. Hope that language is okay. Sorry. I am phenomenal at this. I'm really good. And once we change our mindset with that, then hey, so many things just become so much easier, because we just get out of bed every day with a big smile on our face, actually thinking, hey, no matter what the world throws at me today, I've got the skills to be able to deal with it. And then, everything is fun. We have challenges. We don't have problems. We have challenges then, because we love a challenge. And life, like I say, just becomes so much easier. And we look for the next challenge as well. Yeah, because we want to keep on growing as individuals. And I'll calm it down now because I know that you said that we're out of time. So I'm sorry. Like I said, I could go on for hours.
I was just going to say we should probably tell the listeners where they can find you at this point. Everything will be tagged below and you can go and click straight through, but just give them an idea of where they can find you.
Well, bless you. Thank you very much indeed. I won't go through the Facebook stuff as such, because that's got loads of numbers and everything. But I've got a personal profile, but I've also got a group to actually help people with their confidence. It's a small group at this moment in time, but it's growing. So there's lives each week, there's informative posts each week, and there's interaction. If you want the likes of the to register for the Win to Live roadmap that's going to be coming out within the next 2-3 months, the website is w2liveroadmap.com. And if you register for that, anyone that then decides to take the course on board when it is launched, hey, you're going to get some really cool stuff as well that I'm not going to share at this moment in time. Yeah, so that's also called ethical bribery. Yeah, so there's that as well. And anything that you feel that may well be able to help with, then by all means, I offer complimentary consultations for about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. And you can find the details for that at surprisingly enough, davewilliamscoaching.com. So I hope you've actually got some value as far as this conversation is concerned. So thank you very much indeed.
And you can click just below to click straight through and find all these different links. If you've enjoyed this episode, then just please subscribe, and then you'll catch up on all the amazing content that we've got coming up. And if you go to kunocoaching.com/podcasts, is it / or /? Try either one. You'll get to the calendar. I'm being laughed at now. You will get to the calendar that tells you who's coming up, and you can leave questions for our amazing guests. So thank you so much, Dave, for being a guest today. It's been fantastic listening to you.
Bless you. Thank you very much indeed for having me, Marie. I've really enjoyed it, as hopefully it's come out on screen.
It's been brilliant. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Take care.